Shalom Aleichem. We find ourselves 2 days before Shabbos, 2 days before Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, and Yud Zayin B'Tammuz falls out on Shabbos this year. We will commemorate the fast of Yud Zayin B'Tammuz on Sunday, and that inaugurates the period of the 3 weeks leading up and climaxing with Tisha B'Av. And to be perfectly honest, the confession I must make is that this is a very hard period of time for us to connect to, for me to connect to. It's a period of time we're supposed to mourn the loss of the Beis HaMikdash, but to be perfectly honest, life is not so terrible. We don't feel such a loss. We haven't experienced what it meant to have a true sense of Ashros HaShechina with the Beis HaMikdash, and therefore that profound sense of loss and longing for the Beis HaMikdash is lacking because we don't really connect to what we had, and therefore can't appreciate exactly what we've lost. And it's a challenging period of time, especially it falls out during the summertime. We're in camps, we're frolicking, we're on vacation, and therefore to connect to Avelos during this period of time, certainly on Avelos of Beis HaMikdash, is very difficult. I saw just a few moments ago a stunning idea, which at least for me opened up a little bit of an insight, and I got very excited when I saw it, and therefore I wanted to share it with you today. There's a Gemara in Maseches Bechoros. It's a series of Agadatas. The Gemara is found in Maseches Bechoros, Daf Ches Mem Beis. Very cryptic. What exactly is going on over here? Very hard. One of those Agadatas that you don't know what exactly to do with. The Gemara tells us there's a debate going on between a Gentile philosopher and Rabbi Yoshua. And as part of their dialogue and as part of their argument, Aisile Trei Bei, the Gentile philosopher presents to Rabbi Yoshua 2 white eggs. And Amar Leini says, Hai de Zagasa ukmese, v'hai de Zagasa chivarte. Says these 2 white eggs, they look exactly the same, but one came from a black hen and one came from a white hen. Tell me, which one came from the black hen, which one came from the white hen? Can you tell, after all, they're identical eggs, which exactly came from which? And Rav Yoshua responds with the following. He says, I say lehu ihi trei gavine. He produces 2 chunks of cheese. And Amar lehu, and he says to the Gentile, Hey deiza uchmesi, the hey deize chivarte. Well, which one of these 2 exactly identical yellow chunks of cheese, which one came from the black goat, and which one came from the white goat? That's the dialogue, that's the discussion. What exactly is the pshat? What exactly is going on over here? Very cryptic, very hard to know. So comes along the Maharsha on this Gemara in the Chidushe Agados, and he says there's a very fundamental idea over here, a very beautiful idea, very beautiful machlokes that's going on. So if you take a look at Chesed Aleph in Bechoros, the Gemara there says, what's the gestation period of a hen from the time that it produces the egg until the time that the hen or the chick is hatched? 21 days. It's a 21-day period. And he says that represents, and this is what the Gentile was saying, 2 very different 21-day periods in the Jewish calendar. The first 21-day period is the beginning of the year, from Rosh Hashanah, which is the beginning of the Din, the Tchilas Hadin, the Tshuva process, Rosh Hashanah, Aleph Tishrei, all the way until Chaf Aleph Tishrei, the 21st day of Tishrei, which is of course Hoshana Rabbah. That 21-day period is a very glorious, upbeat period where we go ahead and cleanse ourselves of our Averis, and through that period of Tshuva, up until the Chasimas Hadin, Hoshana Rabbah, we become purged, a very cathartic experience. That is the white hen that produces, if you will, one of these eggs. That produces the white egg. It's a very cleansing process. But then we have another 21-day period. And that other 21-day period, of course, is the period of time between Shiva Asar B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. These are also 3 weeks, and these are 21 days. And during these 21 days, that's the dark hen. That's a period of darkness, of depression, of avelus, of mourning, and it is a very sad period of time. And that's the black hen. And comes along the Gentile said, you think that there's meaning to these 21 days? It's all the same. It's all happenstance. It's all mikra. It is all coincidence. 21 days here, 21 days there. Can you tell the fundamental difference? Did they come from the black hen, from the white hen? It's all the same. The language of the Maharsha. Very fine print for me over here, but the Maharsha writes as follows: Amar lei, Hare Trei Bei Sheha Tolda Mi Beis Zagasa. These 2 eggs that came from these 2 hens, Hein Kulan Levanim. The eggs are white. Ve'ein Nikar Eze Mehashchora Ve'eze Mehalavana Ki Ein Lachem Heker. There's no real difference. Ki mikra echad, it's all chance. It's all meaningless. You think there's a difference in these 21 days and those 21 days? It's meaningless. It doesn't make a difference. That was the argument. It's all happenstance, chance. There's no sense of real hashgacha. There's no sense of a real connection to something bigger, something greater. What is Rav Yehoshua's response? Rav Yehoshua presents two pieces of cheese, and he says, which one came from the black goat and which one came from the white goat? So it comes along the Maharsha and says beautifully, is that what these two cheeses represent, the two goats represent, are the Shnei Seirim of Yom Kippurim. And indeed, there too we have two goats, but one is a white goat. That is the seer that goes to Hashem. That is the seer that enters into the Holy of Holies, that enters into the Beis HaMikdash, is sacrificed to Hashem. That's the white goat. Then there's the other goat, the goat that is the seer La'azazel, that's taken far, far away, and that's the seer that gets thrown off the cliff. That's the dark goat. Now the truth of the matter is that even that dark goat, that black goat, is an indispensable component to the tshuva process and the kapara process of Yom Kippurim. We cannot have a sense of kapara and tshuva without both goats. So indeed, one is black and one is white. One is dark and one is a beat. However, they're both necessary. They're both indispensable, and they both bring about that sense of tshuva and Yom Kippurim. You can't have the Sir LaHashem without the Sir LaAzazel. They both go hand in hand. So yes, indeed, you might not be able to tell which is producing the cheese, where the cheese is coming from. The answer is because you need both. And they're both avenues, necessary avenues, indispensable avenues to that sense of Avodas Hashem, the Sir LaHashem, if you will. The white goat and the black goat are both necessary, indispensable to that tshuva process. What he was telling them, perhaps what we can connect to, is that we have a mission. We're beginning now this period really of 21 days, where this is, if you will, the black hen. And the black hen might seem despondent, down. It's a very difficult period of time, but understand that this black hen, if you will, these black 21 days also produce a white egg. It's a different avenue towards Hashem, a different avenue towards tshuva. But it's an avenue towards tshuva nonetheless. Whereas when it comes to Rosh Hashanah through Hoshana Rabbah, days of cleansing, this is days also of tshuva, of avelus, with the same exact goal, yes, of producing that white egg, just like the Sir Hashem, Sir Azazel produce that same piece of cheese, produce that delectable, tasty, that piece of cheese that represents the kapara. So too, these two hens, these two poles during the year, represent alternative avenues towards connection to Hashem. You have the pole, the 21 days, no coincidence that they're both 21-day periods. The 21 days of cleansing Rosh Hashanah towards Hoshana Rabbah, and then perhaps climaxing that extra day, Shmini Atzeres. And then you also have this period of time where we have to go ahead and identify how best we can bring Shekhinah into our lives. Understand that we don't really have the full, glorious Hashras Hashchina that is so critical, that we so badly really want, and we have to identify through the process of Avelus, through this more difficult time of Misha Nichnas Av Mima'atin B'Simcha, to mute the Simcha a little bit, to identify where in our lives we can go ahead and find that area. We can better bring Shekhinah. We can identify what we're missing with the loss of the Beis HaMikdash, identify how to bring Shekhinah a little closer, identify perhaps what we're missing. And as we go ahead from these 21 days, and then through the summer, through the period of Elul, through the cleansing process, we use this extended period of time because, after all, it's all for the same agenda, to connect Hashras Hashchina, to be metakin ourselves, to fix ourselves. Two different avenues, but comes on Rav Yehoshua and says, avenues are different, but the destination is exactly the same. And may we be zoche to tap in to these 21-day period that we have right now, period of sadness, period where we are looking for what we're missing, and then Be'ez Hashem, climax with those 21 days as we hit Rosh Hashanah towards the Yom Noraim, Chag HaSukkos, Hoshana Rabbah. We're totally cleansed and we truly feel that sense of Hashras Hashchina. Have a wonderful Shabbos.